Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to Building Green 2020, the digital conference. Building Green is a flagship campaign of the PHILGBC's events and consists of year-round activities that encourage participation in the green building advocacy. I am Mario Suelto from the PHILGBC National Secretariat and will be today's facilitator. Before we continue, please be reminded of the following event guidelines. This webinar will be recorded by the PHILGBC National Secretariat for documentation purposes. We encourage active participation during the event. You may ask your questions using the question box in the GoToWebinar panel. Questions that you will raise will be addressed during the discussion period. Upon request, an electronic certificate of attendance will be issued by the PHILGBC National Secretariat to your registered email address. Please request a copy through events@philgbc.org. We would like to acknowledge our BG2020 sponsors, our Diamond Sustaining Member, Neo Property Management, and our conference sponsor, AGC Incorporated. Thank you for your sustained support. This week, we are joining the global celebration of the World Green Building Week with the other national GBCs all around the world as we encourage businesses, organizations, and governments to act on climate. Today's episode, episode 11, The Alternative, will feature PhilGBC members who provide both off-site and on-site renewable energy and users of these technologies. We will be hearing from the following speakers. Meran Kaledi handles the business development for Solar Energy Philippines, a renewable energy company specifically on solar energy. Giuseppe Garofalo is the head of engineering and construction department of Italpinas Development Corporation. He earned his master's degree in structural engineering at the Polytechnic of Turin in Italy, and he worked as a structural and seismic designer for one of the biggest engineering firms of Italy, where he took part of several complex projects. Since 2017, he has been managing all of IDC's projects from business development to design, permits and licenses, project management, and construction. David Yim is the Smart Glass Division Manager of AGC Asia Pacific. In this Southeast Asia regional role, he engages to build win-win relationships with real estate developers, architects, consultants, and contractors with innovative smart glass solutions for buildings to enhance users' well-being, building energy efficiency, and added real estate value propositions. David has over 6 years of smart glass market experience in Southeast Asia. He has worked on iconic projects such as the 2,600 square meter BIPV canopy of Tanjong Pagar Center in Singapore, as well as a number of commercial and government projects using PDLC and interactive glass technologies throughout the region. Maria Dominique Pang from SN Aboitiz Power Group is a graduate of Business Management in De La Salle University, Manila. She specializes in salesmanship and key account management, handling several accounts in the organization. She has been with SN Aboitiz Power Group since 2015 under the commercial operations team, who are mainly responsible for helping grow the company by finding leads, closing deals, supporting existing clients, and communicating product value to clients. She is also the industry champion in the commercial property segment, who is continuously promoting renewable energy, not only within her industry, but also to other communities and stakeholders. So for our first presentation, we have Meran Kaledi from Solar Energy Philippines. Let me now pass the audio to Meran.
Thank you, Mario. Good morning, everyone. I am Meran Kaledi from Solar Energy Philippines. We are a renewable energy company, specifically on solar energy. So we do a complete process of installing a solar system, including feasibility studies, site assessment, design, procurement, construction, and installation and maintenance. So Solar Energy Philippines, we have 17 years of experience in the industry already. We started in 2003 in Netherlands and completed our large to small scale projects all over Europe. So we do from in Europe, we do small to industrial scale projects. So this is our office in the Netherlands. So the Philippine subsidiary started in early 2014. It's a partnership between Solar Energy Netherlands and JTER Development Corporation. So we are a turnkey solar system engineering, procurement, commissioning provider in the Philippines. Our local partner, JTER Development Corporation, is a real estate developer, over 30 years experience developing buildings, from Metro Manila to Pampanga, and they have over 5 billion pesos in assets. One of their iconic buildings is Emerald Mansion in Ortigas, Pasig. Why did solar energy come to the Philippines? Reason is Philippines has one of the highest electricity prices around the world. As you can see, based on the DOE chart, from 2005 until 2020, the electricity prices is steadily increasingly. So this makes the Philippines a perfect candidate for other to be ventures of other renewable energy sources and other energy sources such as solar or geothermal or hydro at the sort. Why install the solar panels? For financial benefits, it could reduce 30 to 50% of your bill. It will depend on your electricity rate and your operational hours. So return of investment can be achieved as early as the fourth year. Average payback period of the solar system, it ranges between 4 to 6 years. So we have also flexible payment options, such as we have cash, we have financing options with no down payment, and we have power purchase agreement without any capital expense for your company. And the solar panels can save money and energy for at least 30 years, because the minimum lifespan of a solar panel is between 25 to 30 years. Additional benefits. So this is perfect for this organization, the Philippine Green Building Council. If companies want to lower their nationwide carbon footprint, solar is one of the perfect solutions for this one, because it's one of also the cheapest renewable energy as of the moment. So it also reduces the dependency on non-renewable energy sources and could help you with your certificates and applying for the Philippine Green Building Council. Overview of a solar system and how it works. So from the sun, the panels will absorb the sunlight, which produces, we call it DC current or direct current, and the wiring, it will transfer to the wirings to the inverter, which converts the DC energy into AC energy, which is what we use in our homes, our offices, or in our factories. And a meter monitors the production and power of the solar, and any excess power that is unused will be exported to the grid as net metering. As for the Renewable Act 9513, unfortunately, as of now, the net metering is only until 100 kilowatt peak and below. If your system size is 101 kilowatt peak and above, you're not allowed anymore to sell back to the grid. So I heard earlier in the discussions on the Energy Efficiency and Conversion Act of 2019, they are planning to increase the cap size, and I hope that pushes through. And plus, they are also mentioning the quickness on how to apply for net metering, because usually it takes around 2 to 3 months. So we hope we could reduce also that lead time, so the clients could enjoy more of the savings from the solar systems. So this is a simple chart on how you understand how the solar works. So can you see the line, the demand line? This is your demand of the company that you're using. Let's say your demand is around 500 kilowatt peak or 100 kilowatt peak. Sorry. And for the yellow part, this is the production of solar, and this blue line, this is the generation of solar, and this pink area is the from an electrical cooperative. Since our solar systems are grid tie technology, priority we are tapped also on your electrical cooperative, so such as, say, Meralco or Aboitiz or AC Energy. So once we are tapped there, once the solar is generating from 6 a.m., as you can see, once it's going to 12 noon, the generation increases. And once it reaches your demand, there'll be and then any excess power is the surplus. So once it reaches your demand, you'll be fully getting all of your energy from solar. And the surplus area will be sold back to the grid. And once the generation is going down, because the time's going down from 12 noon to 6 p.m., you'll be get any deficit energy from between the 6 and the here and afternoon will be getting from your electrical cooperative. Our product partners. So we mostly use actually Jinko Solar. They are tier one solar manufacturer. You can search them out. They're number one supplier right now for solar panels. We also get from Canadian Solar. For inverters, we mainly use Growatt and SMA. So here we did also some of our marketing purposes. We done some celebrity installs. So for here, you can see the person standing on the left. This is our CEO, Mike Consenheim. He's the one who brought solar energy from the Netherlands here to the Philippines and partnered with Joseph Pascual here on the right. He's the president of Jater Development Corporation, also the president of Solar Energy Philippines. So here are some of our references for our residential installs. We also do some office spaces. It's a 21 kilowatt peak in Taguig. Schools are also perfect candidates for solar. Of course, not during pre-COVID times. So when they have operations. So this school is saving 1 million pesos annually. So we also do resorts. This is in Bacolod, the resort. Here also a resort in Clark. And here also office space and commercial building. If you're familiar with Bouygues, they're a construction company from France. They're the ones who are handling the expansion of the LRT1 in Cavite. So this is their office, and as you can see, their parking lot, we converted it also into to solar panels, the roofing. We're the ones who made the trellis, the post here in the parking lot, and then the roofing. Instead of putting actual GI sheet roofs, we made the solar as the roofs, and then any in between we place silicone, so there's no leaks on it. So at least they could enjoy since they didn't have any more roof spacing available. We use the roof spacing of their parking. So we could do that also with some clients who have problem with the roof spacing. If they have right beside them, if they have vacant lots and they owned it, we could make it like a solar system style, a solar farm system style. We also perfect candidates also for solar are cold storage facilities because their load is consistent 24/7. Their load doesn't drop down. So this cold storage is saving around 2 million pesos annually. So this is Royal Cold Storage in Bulacan. So we did their annex building. They started as phase one to try it out, and they were really happy with our install. So they expanded the system in their main building here, right below it. That's a 900 kilowatt solar system. So they also got us for their expansion. So some clients, that's what they do. They start with phase one to try out the system, and then once they see it's efficient on their companies and it helps them a lot, they expand and fill up whatever roof space they have already to maximize the power of the solar. So we also have Gentech Cold Storage. We were awarded 4 sites for them, so this is just one of their sites. So Arctic Cold Storage also. This is 609 kilowatt peak. So this initially their load is more than actually it's more than a megawatt. So they said they wanted to try it out for 609, and eventually they were happy with it. So now we're expanding another, I think, 300 kilowatt for them. So to meet their demand. So this is Hamlin Phase 1 in Cavite. They are a textile manufacturer. This is in a PEZA zone. So if there are any people in PEZA zones, we could do also installations in PEZA zones. This is Saffron, also a textile manufacturer in Cavite. So this is a total one megawatt. This company is saving almost 10 million pesos annually on electricity. Here we have Armscore Phase 1 and 2. This is a gun manufacturer in Marikina. For Armscore, they started at Phase 1 at 700 kilowatt, and then Phase 2 was 500 kilowatt, and now we have Phase 3 and 4 on the way. So this is a total of 2.5 megawatt. So Armscore, they're saving right now also almost 10 million pesos or more per month, annually, sorry. So general concerns, roof maintenance. Concern is how to do a roof maintenance with the solar panels on top. Part of our solar energy aftercare service, we assist the client in removing of the panels if they need some repairs. Generally, before we do the install, we always recommend to the clients to check whatever preventive maintenance they need to do for the roofs, since the panels will be there for 25 to 30 years minimum. So at least now, later the panels are installed, and after five years, that's when you decide to do your PMS. That's why we recommend to do it before. Structural integrity, this is mostly the concern that we have. Can the solar carry the weight of the roof? Generally, yes. We have a structural engineer that certifies the integrity of the roof and to carry the solar system. So before we install, we have our structural engineer, or if you have your own structural engineer, you could check the roof and to see if there's any retrofitting that's needed. But most of the time, it's only repainting, since the panels will be there for 25 to 30 years, as mentioned earlier. So the tapping of the electrical system, where will we tap it? So we tap it at a mutual agreed tapping point between your engineering team and the company. So it will usually takes 2 to 3 hours to shut down, and then before we could tap the system or less. The stability of the solar supply, actually it cleans. Will it affect your machines? That's one of our concerns also that we get a lot. For manufacturing, since they have big machines there, will it affect? Actually, no, because it actually cleans the grid supply because it has a power factor of 1. Therefore, it improves the grid stability and quality of your power. Warranty claims. To how long will it take to replace the components? Generally, we'll have it in stock. So within 72 hours, we could replace any defective panels or inverters. So benefits of the solar system, it's a cleaner and cheaper electricity. So since solar energy is harvested from the sun, which is a source of renewable energy, it is clean and free to collect. So solar is the cheapest form of renewable energy at the moment. And as mentioned earlier, the stable power supply has a power factor of 1. Therefore, it improves the grid stability and quality of the power during daytime. And it also adds a additional insulation layer. Additional insulation results to less noise from the roof, from rain, less heat through the roof. So because there's no direct sunlight hitting your roof, your GI sheet roof or your cemented roof, since the panels will be directly getting from the sunlight. And the longer lasting roof sheets because it will be less exposed to elements such as rain and heat. So we have a no cash out choice, power purchase agreements or PPA or lease to own, with a contracted arrangement of fixed lower power rates from 20 to 25 years. So we have PPA programs wherein this big manufacturing companies they could just buy the power that the solar generates at a much cheaper rate. Then this is fixed for 20 years without any escalation. So this one this one usually we recommend at 500 kilowatt and above solar systems. So sustainable and durable solar systems will last 30 to 45 years with proper preventative maintenance done yearly, which is also part of our company's service. We also do maintenance. So if you have any questions, or if you want that we could do a site assessment for you or make a proposal for you, you may contact me here in this is my number and my email. So we could do free consultation for your company. We could also do a free proposal which consists of the panel layout design specifically for your roof, how many can fit, what's the monthly savings, the annual savings, how much could you save, what's the cost of the solar system, what are financing terms available. We could all do that for free. You may just contact me at this number and email me. So thank you again for your time, and back to you, Mario.
Thank you, Meran. So just as a reminder, if you have questions for Meran and the other presenters, please type them in the question panel, and we will address them during the um, discussion period of the episode. So we'll now go to the next presenter from Italpinas Development Corporation. We have Giuseppe Garofalo. So let me now pass the audio to Giuseppe.
Hi, hi Mario, thank you. Okay, I would like to thank you, the Green Building Council Philippines, for inviting us to this event. And I am Engineer Giuseppe Garofalo from Italpinas Development Corporation, and we are a design-driven developer of sustainability properties focused on the emergency city of the Philippines. We are member of the Green Building Council Philippines and of the Green Building Council US, and all of our projects are certified by EDGE. It is a rating system from IFS of the World from the World Bank. Okay, so even if we are a young company, we have been recognized nationally and internationally, and these are some of the awards that we receive. As all of our projects have been recognized as the best mixed-use condominium for the Philippines from the Asia Property Award, and once they've been featured in the National Geographic. Here we can see on the left side, our president, Attorney Jose Leviste, and our CEO and chairman, Architect Nati, as the new business leader of the Philippines for our unique proposition value. So what are our unique value propositions? We are committed to use passive green design in developing condominium buildings in the emergency city at an affordable price. So the sustainability is really one of the core value of this company. So why in the emergency city? What we have, if you look at the past data of the population of the Philippines in 1950, the total population of the Philippines was 18 million, with only 8% of this population living in Metro Manila. What happened from 1950 up to now is the population of the Philippines grow and to up to 108 million, and 81% of this population is now living in Metro Manila. This is what we call centripetal migration. So the people move from their provinces in the capital looking for a better opportunity and for work. That happen in many countries. But this centripetal migration generate bad effect for the environmental degradation, difficulty in mobilities, lack of job back on the provinces, the separation of the families, and of course an high cost of the living in Metro Manila. What we have anticipated back in 2019 is that there will be a centrifugal migration. So the people will go back to their provinces. And who are these people that will go back to their provinces? Or overseas OFW Philippines, people that lived in Manila but they were coming from the provinces. They're going back to their provinces, and also foreigners that they want to escape from congested cities and live back in the provinces. This generates good effect like a better environment, more opportunities, more job in the provinces. So a more sustainable economy, and a lower cost of the living in the provinces. we target, our market target is the rising middle class. If we look at the data of the population of the Philippines, it's continuously growing of 1 or 2 million every year. So that makes a very young country with the majority of the population below 20 years, 21 years old. So there is a need of house, and the growing market is for us is the middle class. Class, and as of today, there is a demand for affordable house of 5.8 millions. And these are in our passive green design. So what differentiates us from other developers is that we use this passive green features so that are embedded inside our design. How we do that? We gather the data from the location where we're going to build the condominium. So data about the temperature, the wind, the sun path, the rain. Then we create a parametric model, and we are going to integrate and to study how our building will perform in this environment. Here we have a sample of some data gathering. Here the sun from the sun speed of the sun speed, the temperature, and this is a sun path analysis and a wind speed and a vector wind analysis. Here I have a few slides that will show how we model our okay. For example, for the sun, our sun path analysis. Okay. Here we have here you can see the sun path geolocalized with the site, and these are simulating these 5 buildings. So what we do, we try to find the best position for the building in order to increase the natural light, the ventilation, and avoid also the shadow of one building over another. We also perform wind analysis with the goal of increasing the natural ventilation for regular speed wind and decreasing the damages of the building during a typhoon. And another analysis that we do is the sun exposure of the building. So what we want to have inside the building is a natural light, but we would like to reduce what is called the greenhouse effect. So the direct light from the sun inside the unit that will increase the temperature inside the living. So how can we do that? We can do that by introducing some louvers or by extending the cantilever of the building. Another features of all of our building are the solar panels. All the rooftop of all of our building are covered by solar panels, and that allows to generate power that will be used for the common areas and for the building in order to reduce the consumption of energy. Other green features of our building are the natural ventilation and the shading system. So here you can see a section of one of our buildings. Here we have on the start of the residential tower an air intake level, and there is a shaft where all the hot air will be pushed up to the rooftop. So all of our units will have a natural ventilation and also shading system. So we designed this plant box that goes all around the building in a way that when the sun will not go directly inside the unit, but only the natural light will do so that we can reduce the energy consumption. By the combination of the solar panel and the natural ventilation, the shading system, we can reduce substantially the consumption of the energy. This is a sample result of the energy saving. This screenshot is from the edge. And there you can see a base case of a unit with the same geolocalization but without any green features. And this is an improved case with green features. So what you can see here, the big consumption of energy, this energy is in kilowatt hour for square meter per year, is due to the cooling energy. And with the use of the natural ventilation and the shading system, we can reduce it almost of 50%, the consumption of energy for the cooling system. Another feature that all of our buildings have is the rainwater harvesting and the recycling of water. So all of the solar panel on top of our building will also have the function of collect the water that will be stored on a raining water tank on the rooftop, and then by gravity this water will be distributed to all the plant box and will be used for the watering of this plant box. And big contribution in the reduction of consumption of water is also on the selection of the shower head, the faucet, because it is important to use a reduced flow of faucet or shower head. That will really reduce the consumption of water. And here I have this slide. I have sample of how much can we save in terms of water if we only going to use reduced flow for the shower, the kitchen, the faucet, and the water closet. Here a quick overview of all of our projects. Here we have on the left side, our first project, Primavera Residence. This is located in Cagayan de Oro, and is an overall gross floor area of 19,000 square meters. This is our second project, also in Cagayan de Oro, with a gross floor area of 80,000 square meters. And this is our third project located in Santo Tomas, Batangas, with a gross floor area of 55,000 square meters. Our complete project. This is the project Primavera Residence, located in Cagayan de Oro. We are located uptown. This is an actual picture of our development, where you can see the cantilever, the extension of the cantilever that will reduce the natural light going inside the unit. And here is a schematic section where we can show that this cantilever has been designed in order to reduce the effect of the light going directly inside the unit. And also there is a natural ventilation and the solar panel. Some picture of the building. The solar panel installed on the rooftop. Swimming pool. The center court, where there is the open area of the building. Some picture of the inner of the house. These are inside our ongoing project with Primavera City, so located in Cagayan de Oro uptown. And this project is divided in 4 phases: Città Verde, phase 1, Città Bella, the phase 2, Città Grande, the phase 3, and Città Alta, the phase 4. Here a short video of our project. There is the solar panels, the air natural ventilation. We also do the water rainwater harvesting, and we reduce the emission of the CO2. The internal of the house. Where you can see the louver that we reduce the amenities. Some picture of the building. I will quickly go through this: the amenities, the living area, the bedroom, the toilet, and this is the actual construction, the actual status of the construction. Our third project is located, the name is Miramonti, is located in Santo Tomas, Batangas, and is strategically located because it's very close to the start tool of Santo Tomas, and it's only 55 kilometers from Metro Manila. The project will be developed in 2 phases. Phase 1 is now under construction, and phase 2 we are doing the permitting. Here a short video presentation of the project. Some rendering of the project when it will be completed. The lobby. I will quickly go through these pictures. The amenities, the interior of the unit, and this is an actual picture of the construction site. So Thank you. And Mario will give you back the control.
Thank you, Giuseppe. So for the participants, if you have questions, please type them in and send them to the question panel of the GoToWebinar app. So we'll now move to the next presentation from AGC Asia. We have David Yim. David, let me pass now the audio and control to you.
Thank you very much, Mario. Okay, may I start?
Yes, go ahead, David.
Okay, thank you very much. My name is David, and let me introduce you to our BIPV, which is a Building Integrated Photovoltaic Glass. AGC has started this business in Japan since the year of 2000 and expanded to have more than 400 projects completed worldwide. I'm excited to be able to share with you today about BIPV because the idea of the building facade has actually taken on new meaning as we look towards the future. The expectation throughout the industry is to see that as a highly multifunctional facade system that can not only have the solar performance to control the light and the heat through our glazing, but to also be used as an exterior membrane for a source of energy production and even the use of integrated communication networks. Now I'm showing you this slide just to illustrate that different times of year, and it can show that in our urbanized city areas, we find that we are limited in terms of the rooftop areas and locations to put traditional PV panels. So the idea of having BIPV is to be able to tap into the potential of the facade itself to be additional areas in our built environment for PV generation. In this slide, I'm simply illustrating that it will matter in terms of the geographic location, the angle, and the orientation where PV or BIPV panels are located, which will determine its capacity in terms of kilowatt peak power generation. The image on the right is just simply to illustrate that it's not only one way to generate power, which is to have a horizontal application, but you can consider different tilt angles and even vertical orientations depending where it's located to be able to tap into generating power from the sun using the BIPV panels. So this actually extends and widens the areas for the application in our buildings. We can also tap into using BIPV where we have facades, skylights, canopies, shading louvers, walkways, and so on. Here I'm showing you a short introduction video about the possibilities using the SunnyWatt BIPV. I'm not sure if anyone else hears the audio, but you can see here different illustrations where the BIPV is not only for the vision areas, but it can also be areas of spandrels and wall claddings to look much like our traditional building glass material, and even for the use for creative art, such as building sign logos and other patterns, as well as the traditional BIPV. So we tap into this idea of how SunnyWatt BIPV can be something for the future, as a future proof. We want to consider that the facade can be an energy generating facade that can help towards achieving near zero energy objectives, but at the same time, there would be no compromise of the aesthetics as well as the glass properties required for glazing in our buildings in terms of its light transmission, its safety value, its insulating noise value, shading coefficients, as well as integration with our normal building systems, installation warranties, and maintenance. Now, BIPV has the solar cells laminated between glass panels, so it is both a matter of the efficiency, where you're calculating in terms of how much power can be generated, how it can be fed to power up your needs for your energy consumption, but at the same time be used for the purpose for art and communication. It can be tapping into how it can be ethically customized and also even used for corporate branding. We have a range of BIPV that will range from transparent as well as opaque, which I'll start to go into one by one. We first start with Vision Square. As you can see in the project references here, you would see the monocrystalline solar cells laminated inside clear glass with different sizes and shapes to integrate for the building design. It can be used for the facade, the second skins, canopies, as well as roof applications. There's a varying amount of efficiency possible. For our purposes, you can think the range can be between 55 to 180 watts per square meter. The reason there's a range is because we can have control over the position of the solar cells as well as position of the glass to determine and customize the requirements for you for your application. Next, we can also have this product called the BIPV Vision Stripe, which is the idea of including more semi-transparent BIPV glass, which means we would laser cut the monocrystalline cells so that there would be a split to allow for more natural light to pass through, at the same time be able to insulate from the light and the heat, giving you partial shading. The range is, we do have a reduced efficiency because the trade-off is if you split up the solar cells, you may allow for more light to pass through, but then you have less watt per meter square. As you can see here, between 55 to about 60 watts per meter square. Another transparent option, which we have launched this year, is called the Smart Skin. Now, this is the idea of instead of laminating the solar cells in the glass, we place some solar cells along the air spacer of a double glazed glass unit. The solar cells are enough to power sensors which are also lodged into the air spacer, so that allows for the detection of real-time internal and external conditions where the glass is applied, such as your curtain wall or other places. The power generated and the information from the sensors can be used to connect to a building management system to say to be able to control your internal motorized blinds, to be able to control the glare as well as the heat during different times of day and different seasons of the year. The information that you gather from the sensors in each window panel of the Smart Skin can be tied to your building management system to further optimize the energy efficiency control of your internal building systems, such as your internal lights as well as your ventilation HVAC system, to further improve efficiency, optimize user comfort and the well-being. And if it's used in an office, you can see improvement in the productivity levels. It's meant to be a plug-and-play system. The glass panel, which has the solar cells and the sensors lined along the air spacer, will connect intelligently to our gateway communication device and also to our internet cloud, so that you can have a wide range of flexibility and future-proof to be able to integrate newer and newer building management systems and web IoT technologies in the future in your building. This is a Smart Skin. Now I'd like to introduce you to the range of opaque BIPV. The idea for the opaque BIPV is certainly along our building wall claddings as well as our curtain walls. You can have a product like StopRay Active, where you have a office curtain wall and you have a spandrel glass. The spandrel glass serves no purpose to need transparency, so we can convert that spandrel glass to integrate the BIPV in the laminated glass to have a near matching appearance, a coating to look like the rest of the curtain wall, but it now actually is the power generation by solar cells inside. Compared to the Vision Stripe, where you have a clear on clear glass laminated with the monocrystalline cell, the StopRay Active would have around 80 to 85% of that, ranging between 130 to 150 watts per meter square. The next type of opaque BIPV has a lot of customization in terms of designs and patterns that can be printed, called the Art Light Active BIPV. It's fully customizable, not only in terms of the sizes and shapes, but the pattern itself can be used to put your company logo on the building, but it can also be an energy generating facade. It can be used to integrate beautiful creative designs, maybe in your public areas, your common spaces, where art takes a major precedence where the built environment is taking place, but it can also be an energy generating facade itself. The range performance of this is between 70 to 90% of that of the Vision Square, so you're looking at roughly between 100 to 150 watts per meter square. There is no limit in terms of what design you can use. Not only can you use it for the building logo, but you can also use it to mimic other types of building materials, such as prints to look like the concrete or the brick or stone that you have already as cladding on your buildings. So this application is not only for new construction, but it can be considered for retrofit. If I have a blank brick wall on the side of my building, I can apply this to mount as a second skin on the brick wall with the design to look like the brick wall itself. It has a very mimicking, matching design to also tap into for generating power on this area called the Art Light Active. The next type of opaque BIPV, which we call the Lacobel T Active, instead of a full range of whatever design or customization, you may notice that many of our buildings, maybe especially in the commercial segments of our cities, may have a glossy finish. And this is between the range of white, gray, blue, and black. So this idea is also to provide on the cladding and balustrades to look much like our normal cladding that we have now, but in essence, it is also a BIPV, generating power when it's exposed to the sun. The performance can range between 40 to 70%, and it will be determined by the color of the cladding. Actually, if you have a white color, it will give you the higher efficiency towards a 160 watt per meter square. And if you have the black, it'll be lower, between around 100 watts per meter square. So the idea of having all these solutions is to give you cater to a full product range to cater for your needs. If you have requirements where the application can be applied on a skylight, a canopy, or a facade, we have offering solutions that can provide semi-transparent and solutions like that. If there are areas of your built environment where transparency is not required, you can choose among the selections of the StopRay Active, the ArtLight Active, as well as the Lacobel T Active, depending on maybe your design requirements. All this to say is that BIPV can further enhance tapping into our built environment to generate power from the sun. With traditional PV panels, you can place it on rooftops and other places, but BIPV, you could add on more PV cells in places previously not considered so that you can use it for your glass facades for the transparency, the durability, the image of it, while at the same time, the properties of the glass have no compromise. It's a laminated safety glass. You can customize if you need it for double glazed unit and so on, so that you can have a control of the visible light transmission, the shading coefficient, the U value, and even the other important things needed, such as acoustic insulation. So AGC comes as a manufacturer of these BIPV panels, but we have a dedicated team of facade engineers and also energy consultants so that we can enter in early in the stage to discuss with our clients how to make BIPV something, whether it's feasible or not for their projects. Whether you need not only assistance in terms of the facade engineering aspect, but we can also be able to do some quick simulations and help to calculate the return on investment. So these things can be done when, especially when clients are searching and consultants are searching for ways to meet the standards set by zero energy buildings for their projects. And we can also advise further on in terms of how we can do the integration with the facade installation, the future planning of the maintenance required over the years ahead, and also how to provide support for the installers in terms of the training and supervision with handling a product like this. So I hope that this introduction has been interesting to expand the ideas of how PV cells can be further integrated with our glass so that BIPV can expand the range and application, specialized in the built environment to tap into the power of the sun for clean energy generation. If you have any further questions, feel free to contact me at my email or my number here listed on this slide, and I look forward to have many good conversations with you in the future. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, David. So we'll now move to the our last presenter for this morning from SN Aboitiz Power Group. We have Maria Dominic Pang. Dominique, let me pass the control and the audio now to you.
Thank you, Mario. So good day, fellow PHILGBC members, and good day, everyone. I'm Dominic Pang from the SN Aboitiz Power Group. So today, I'm going to share our organization, SN Aboitiz Power, on how we power positive change through 100% renewable energy and our sustainable solutions. So first, we will begin with the RE definition and how PHILGBC and its members may benefit from it, our company introduction or business solutions, and lastly, how you can switch to RE. So defining RE, it is referred to as green energy or alternative energy, and these are natural processes that are being replenished continuously. With that said, it is environmental friendly, safe, and sustainable. Examples of RE are biomass, wind, geothermal, ocean, solar, and hydro, which are SN Aboitiz Power's expertise. So we are aligned with the government's position on RE, specifically on RA 9513, which is the Renewable Energy Law, which promotes the development, utilization, and commercialization of RE resources. There is also an improved reputation among investors and clients, especially when they are also pushing for a green environment. And then reduced power bills, since you're able to negotiate for your rates and terms. And lastly, shared commitment to sustainability, which is also one of the main reasons why we are in this session today. So here's a quick overview of how power reaches us consumers, its flow, and its composition. So first, power plants generate electricity, which then goes to the transmission lines and then flows into the distribution lines. And then finally, the load, it reaches us to customers such as homes, factories, offices, etc. So with that, the power bills we receive are also composed of those segments. So generation, distribution, and transmission. Given that half of your bill accounts for the generation, you now have the choice to shift into a power supplier, and SN Aboitiz is one of them. So our company, SN Aboitiz Power, harness 100% renewable energy. So we are a joint venture between SN Power of Norway and Aboitiz Power. So Aboitiz Power partnered with SN Power in order to tap their technical expertise in operating hydroelectric power plants, as they bring 100 years of experience in developing hydropower plants in Norway. Aboitiz Power, on the other hand, is the holding group for the Aboitiz Group's investments in power generation, distribution, and retail electricity services. Thus, SN Aboitiz Power Group was formed. We are guided by our CEO, Joseph S.U., empowering positive change through first, developing and operating world-class renewable energy facilities and providing our customers with innovative energy solutions that best meet their needs. So these two will be the highlight of my discussion. So as the biggest private hydropower company in the Philippines, we own and operate these 4 hydroelectric power plants. Our biggest is in Magat with a capacity of 388 megawatts. Downstream is the Maris Hydro with 8.5 megawatts. The other 2 plants are located in Benguet, which are Amboklao and Binga, with capacities of 105 megawatts and 140 megawatts. The Magat, Amboklao, and Binga were the generation assets we have acquired through privatization in 2007. Maris Hydro, on the other hand, was our first power plant built by our company just last 2017. So basically, the Maris Hydro utilizes the water coming from the Magat Hydro. This project was actually awarded the Corporate Safety Milestone Award by the Safety and Health Association of the Philippine Energy Sector for accumulating at least 1 million man-hours without lost time accident. So as we continue to power positive change, we constantly seek ways on how to promote and uphold RE. So we also built the first floating solar in the Philippines. So with this, the project brings us closer to our mission, which is to build and operate RE plants, which will not only contribute to our country's development, but also preserve our environment for the future. So it has the capacity to generate 200 kilowatts of clean energy, and it is placed over a 2,500 square meter area over the Magat Reserva. So as you can see, the circular installation was inspired by the Amazon lily, and it is composed of 720 solar panels. Currently, it provides power for the plant's facilities. So now we go to our second mission, which is to provide innovative energy solutions to our clients. So guided by this mission, the company currently offers two energy solutions, which are also in line with the government's directive in promoting competition, encouraging market development, and ensuring consumer choice. So first, the retail competition and open access, or RCOA. So it enables customers with an average demand of 750 kilowatts to choose their own retail electricity supplier. So this allows both parties, the customer and the supplier, to agree on rates and terms of the contract. So with ARCOA, you now have the power to choose your own retail electricity supplier. Green energy option, on the other hand, enables consumers having at least 100 kilowatts of consumption to source their power supply from RE sources. And just like ARCOA, GUP customers are able to negotiate the rates and other terms of the contract. Hence, they are able to reduce the power bills. Ultimately, GUP's goal is to promote sustainable and efficient power consumption. So being a licensed retail electricity supplier, SN Aboitiz offers stable and predictable power generation cost. Hence, you will be able to budget and forecast your electricity costs on a certain period of time. So you won't have to worry on varying monthly bills. Customized pricing scheme, we will tailor fit the generation rate according to your consumption pattern. And as we collaborate and work within the communities of our hydro plants, you can also positively impact the lives of the families in our host communities through our sustainable undertakings in education, environmental protection, and livelihood projects within the communities we serve. And aside from receiving customer support, we will also help you understand the electric power industry and its impact to your business through our onboarding sessions, learning sessions. And lastly, you can help conserve the environment because we harness the power of flowing water through our hydro plants that delivers a clean and renewable energy for the grid. When it comes to our value-added services, currently, we provide first thermal scanning to identify poor electrical connections and unbalanced loads, if any, power quality analysis to diagnose the voltage quality of your electrical system, and we also provide plant tours to give you a walkthrough of our power plants and at the same time be able to share best practices. And then branding and sustainability partnerships, wherein we provide industry updates and at the same time conduct sustainability activities with our partners. And then zooming into the greenhouse gas accounting. So this is the scope 2 of the greenhouse gas protocol standard set by the World Resources Institute and World Business Council on Sustainable Development, wherein indirect GHG emissions are measured and reported. So basically, these are the emissions from purchased electricity consumed by the company-owned equipment. So just to share with you, so for the Luzon grid, since it has a supply mix of coal and renewables, it has a total of 0.712 tons of CO2 equivalent per megawatt hour. On the other hand, our three hydroelectric power plants has a GHG equivalent intensity index of only 0.0004 tons of CO2 equivalent per megawatt hour. To be able to give you a clear picture, here is an example of a motorcycle manufacturer. So as you can see, as of June 2020, they were able to avoid GHG emissions of 691.44 tons CO2. This is in relation to their power consumption, which then translates to 26,679 trash bags of waste recycled instead of landfilled, and 10,368 tree seedling grown for 10 years. So we can just imagine if all industries are into green energy, we all are able to contribute to this. So how can you switch? So switching into renewable energy and with us is as easy as a snap. So first, you should know your power consumption, and then find a retail electricity supplier, talk to us, and then enter into an agreement with your chosen rate and terms. So we will help you on the entire process of switching. Since we have started in 2011, we were able to deliver renewable energy by partnering with the following industries.
I have a meeting with Giovanni today at 10, but still here. Ask him if we can move it.
So our portfolio is composed of customers from the industrial gas, metals and manufacturing, electronics, food, mining, automotive, agriculture, buildings, and as well as economic zones. And to share with you some of our partners who are also like-minded when it comes to RE. So Honda has exercised their power to positive change as their 3 sites have switched to RE in 2018. So their initiative is also aligned with the group's commitment to reduce its environmental impact of its products manufacturing operations around the world. And then learning institutions have also started choosing RE. So International School Manila has been using RE for the past 2 years now. They said that their stable electricity rate has helped them manage their OPEX, especially during this pandemic period. And lastly, Ore Central Tower, one of the LEED certified buildings in BGC, has recently partnered with us. So this is also in line with their goal of reducing global warming and lessen impact to the environment. So if you're ready to do the RE switch and power positive change like our partners, please let me know via these contact details so we can help you start your journey to renewable energy. So thank you for listening. Back to you, Mario.
Thank you very much, Dominic. So we'll now go to the discussions for our presentations this morning. Again, if you have questions for any of our presenters, please type them in the question panel so that we can properly address them to our presenters. And please include to whom you are addressing your question to so we can properly address them to the appropriate speaker. So for the first question to solar energy, how much is the 100 kilowatt peak when translated to monthly bill? Meran? Hi, Meran.
Hi there. I couldn't unmute myself, sorry.
Yes.
Yeah, for the question, Actually, the average pricing for a 100 kilowatt peak system is at 49,000 pesos per kilowatt. But we could give a more accurate pricing once we know details on the install, such as location or where will we be mounting the panels. If it's a GI sheet roof, then it would be cheaper. But if it's a cemented roof, it would cost more since there'll be more labor and materials to be used. And then the average savings per month would depend on your electricity rate charged to you by your electrical cooperative. So maybe because since maybe if you're on a RES contract, your rate could be low, like maybe 5 to 6 pesos per kilowatt. But there's some like under not RES, baka they'll be charging you 9 to 10 pesos per kilowatt. So we could give you a more accurate or initial proposal with the pricing and savings designed for your company. So maybe you could contact me and I can give you the details we will be needing for us to prepare a proposal. So we will design a proposal specifically for your company. Thank you, Mario.
Thank you, Mara. Thank you, Maran. So we'll be collecting all of the questions and be sharing them to the presenter so that they can connect with you directly after the episode.
Okay.
We have a question here from Eleanor Mercurio for AGC, for David. For the ArtLight Active, can it also be used in animated images? David?
Thank you, Mario. Eleanor, to your question about ArtLight Active, ArtLight Active is printing the fixed pattern onto the glass just above where the solar cells are. So it's not meant for an interactive display. In that case, if you're looking for an interactive display glass, we have another product called AGC Glasslit. Feel free to contact me afterwards and I can send you more information about that.
Thank you, David.
Thank you.
We have a question here from Maria Ludelin Garcia for SN Aboitis for Dominique. What is the difference between entering a contract for ARCOA and for GEOP? And how long usually is the duration of your supply contract with your clients? Dominique?
Yes, hello.
Yes.
Yes. The difference between ARCOA and GEOP was ARCOA enables customers consuming 750 kilowatts and above. On the other hand, GEOP customers should have at least 100 kilowatts to 749 kilowatts. And at the same time, GEOP customers purely wants 100% renewable energy. And then for the contract duration, usually with our current experience, we enter into a 2-year contract period. But that can be flexible. It depends on the agreement with the customer.
Okay. Are there any limitations on the contract period for your supply for renewable energy?
It depends on the consumption pattern of the customer, but usually we see what's the most optimal contract duration for the customer to be able to enjoy the commercial savings.
Okay. Thank you, Dominique.
Thank you.
We have a question here for Italpinas, for Giuseppe. Are you currently monitoring the savings to your tenants because of the design solutions in your project? And have you also realized these savings in your shared services in your existing building? Giuseppe?
Yes. So yes, we are monitoring that, and we are also realizing savings on, for example, the electricity on the common area because they're powered by the solar panels, and average due to our study, the saving on like the electricity due to the natural ventilation and also the water, it's averaging around 820, roughly 20%, based on our study. Thank you, Mario.
Thank you, Giuseppe. We have a question for to David for AGC. For your product lines applicable to retrofit for existing buildings, what is the range for the payback? And do you offer energy saving performance contracts or payouts for savings? David?
I think that's a good question. Thank you very much, Mario, and to the person who asked. So the BIPV range of glass can be applied for retrofit, and it can be, I guess, depending on the project, it will, vary in terms of what the payback will be. What we would do is sit down with the interested party to just understand what is the project situation where we could apply the BIPV for retrofit, and then we ourselves will help you to conduct a feasibility on what kind of a return on investment you can expect. AGC, to refer to your other question, does not provide EPS, but maybe in future we can consider working with partners maybe in your market to see how that could be arranged. But for our part, we would be definitely give you the responsibility of the manufacturing warranty of all these BIPV systems. So we need to have a continued discussion about that. Thank you very much.
Thank you, David. To Meran, we have a question from Ildefonso De Loya. His question is, in rainy seasons, can solar panels still match its deficit and reach your demand on average during the rainy season? Meran?
Yes. Actually, thank you for that question. Thank you for answering that question because this is a common question that we almost get. Solar generates energy from light. So even if there is no direct sunlight and the weather is cloudy, as long as there is light, it will generate energy. For rainy seasons, the solar panels efficiency will drop. That's correct, but not totally. It could still average around 30 to 40% of its efficiency, which is still not bad. And even actually the rain actually even helps increase the efficiency of the solar systems. Why? Because like something usually here in the Philippines, it rains around 10-20 minutes and then it's sunny again. So actually the rain cleans the panels and removes the dust, which increases the efficiency of the panels. So actually I could show you a solar system production of our clients even during rainy seasons because we have a monitoring app that you could use it through your mobile phone, which is directly installed the inverter. So there you can see the production of the solar system daily, monthly, annually, and even on the rainy seasons, you can see the solar still produces a good amount of energy. So I hope we could meet in person so I could show you the app that I'm saying for our existing clients. Thank you, Mario.
Thank you, Meran. And I have another question for you. This is
Okay.
from Carlo Arsenal. Have you installed PV panels for a net zero home?
For we have some clients that are their electricity bills that they show us that they have a zero electricity bill already since for homes we could maximize the net metering process there. So yeah, we have some clients already.
Thank you, Meran.
Thank you.
So similarly for residential developments, a question from Daisy Aguya for David for AGC. Are BIPV panels also applicable for small-scale residential projects? And can it be used for glazing for windows and doors? David?
Yes, thank you for the question. BIPV glass can be used for small residential projects, and AGC has supplied BIPV. It could be often used as sort of like a canopy or the carport over the parked cars. And it can be used also as normal window glazing that you could use for your windows and other parts. Maybe the only limitation is we would probably limit in terms of the type of like operable windows or doors, such as a sliding system. We would probably recommend to use it more on a fixed glass part installation, so that there's not a heavy movement of the glass of the cable from the glass panel.
Thank you, David. So we have a question for Aboitis for Dominique. How do you calculate or check the contracted demand for your clients?
Hello, yes, thank you for the question. As I've mentioned earlier, when we talk with our customers, we usually ask for their load data. So from there, we are able to see their peak demand, which will then be the contracted demand for the contract.
Hi, Dominique. I have a follow-up question. In case the demand of the project exceeded their designed demand, do you still supply the excess power to them?
Yes, we still supply the excess power. However, the price could change since it is not covered by the agreed contracted demand. However, if there would be foreseen upgrading of the equipment, we could adjust the contracted demand accordingly.
Thank you, Dominique.
Thank
We
you.
have another question for you. Um, do you report the where uh, where the renewable energy is coming from for the supply for your clients, and is it purely renewable energy, or is it a mix of different energy sources?
Yes, it
Dominique?
depends on the hello.
Yes, Dominique, go ahead.
It depends on the requirement of the customer. So there are some customers who requires purely 100% renewable energy. With that, we can supply that. On the other hand, there are some customers who are flexible. So we usually mix it with other sources such as the WESM or the wholesale electricity spot market.
Thank you, Dominique.
Thank you.
To solar energy for Meran. Uh, we have a question here. How do you address the potential gains in energy efficiency to optimize the load of the project and reduce potential curtailment of your system?
Okay,
Meran?
thank you for that. Yeah, thank you for that question. Actually, to increase energy efficiency, we always try to install most of the panels facing south, because that is where most of the direct sunlight is coming from, since we are located in Southeast Asia. Uh, but if, of course, it is most of the roofings are limited facing south. So, but as much as possible, we try to maximize the panels facing south. And if you're, like example, if you're in Netherlands, for example, then the best location for the panels will be facing north. So it depends on what part of the country you are. But since we're talking about the Philippines, it's best to put it facing south. Also, we try to avoid shadings that may cause loss of efficiency, such as trees or structures beside the building or on top of the roof. That's one of the problems here in the Philippines. Also, most of the commercial buildings, all of their, except for their aircon condensers, everything is on top of the roof. So there's a lot of limited roof spacing. But sometimes what we do, we recommend also that we put trellis na lang. We put it on top of the structures on the roof. And then another reason also for loss of potential curtailment is, which is out of our control, is the operation hours of the company. Because some companies do not have operations during the weekends. So that results in unused energy, which is going to be exported to the grid. It's possible to be net metered at a much lower rate, but if installs, what I said earlier, if installs are 100 kilowatt peak or above 101 kilowatt above, all unused energy will not be exported and sold to the grid because it will be all exported to our anti-export box, since the net metering law is only until 100 kilowatt peak. And that's why we conduct studies before we install the solar system. So for our clients, for us to know what solar system size is best suitable for their operations. So we don't want to exceed the load that they use if everything is going to be net metered naman or exported or unused. So that's why we conduct the studies. So what's going to be ideal for the operations of our clients. Thank you, Mario.
Thank you, Meran. And I have another question for you from Marjorie Oblinada.
Okay.
Should we consider a room or space for storage of the collection of the energy?
I'm sure I think you're pertaining to batteries, correct? If batteries, actually, we do not recommend batteries if you have access to the grid. Why? We always recommend to do grid tie solar systems. Why? Because batteries now, the technology of batteries are still not really 100% efficient because first of all, they're expensive, and maintenance of it is really pricey. Sometimes what I heard that you need like 2-3 years to replace the batteries every 2 or 3 years. So that will cost more to install the solar system. That's why if we do grid tie solar systems naman, this for now the technology is the most efficient. Because if ever there's excess naman, we could do net metering. And we have a lot of clients naman that most of their operations naman is really fulfilled by the energy of the solar that they are generating. Yeah, thank you, Mario.
Thank you, Maran. So we have here a question from Melvin Candelario, and this is a question for David, Giuseppe, and Meran. Let me start with you, Giuseppe. Are your panels and assemblies capable of withstanding pressures of wind with basic speeds? Is this a consideration in your design, Giuseppe?
Yeah, yes, thank you, Mario. Thank you for the question. Yes, of course, all of the panels, all the structure are verified by our structural engineers, and then they can stand typhoons, winds. So yes, they have. Thank you.
Thank you, Giuseppe. David, let me go to you for the same question.
Okay, thank you, Mario. For ours, it would meet all the normal requirements required for building glass. So for both the safety and also just like other facade engineering, depending on, say, if we had a horizontal application, we would need to do a sort of a calculation on the glass flow and weight on depending on what the design is. Yes, I hope that helps to address the question.
Yes, David. David, I have a follow-up question here, which is, I think, similar to the question asked by Melvin. Does the panels that you provide need to be insured, especially since climate change has caused more severe typhoons? Have you
Mm.
experienced a problem with this issue?
I mean, I think certainly it can be considered since it's also a building materials. But I believe it's possible because AGC has installed so many projects in Japan, which is quite prone to a lot of earthquakes. This will have to be discussed further if they have a specific situation or project in mind.
Okay, thank you, David. So, Maren, let me go to you for the same two questions. Um,
Yes.
are your panels capable of withstanding pressures for wind? And have you experienced any problems or the need for insuring your panels since because of severe typhoons?
Yes. Okay. For our panels, actually, our panels are mounted. The panels are mounted on our mounting bar, and the mounting bar are installed on your purlins of the roof, not your GI sheet roof. So as long as your whole roof doesn't fly out, the panels won't fly out of the due to wind. So because the panels are really stuck in your purlin, so that's never we never had an issue with that one, like panels being broken or being flew off by flying off by because of strong winds. For the insurance part, from what I know, you could also include it as part of your building insurance. Like for your roofing insurance, you could also include it. It's just gonna add just like a minimal amount lang. Yeah. Thank you, Mario.
Thank you, Maren. So we have a question here for SN Aboitiz for Dominique. Um, you mentioned your additional service for GHG accounting. What standards have you adopted for accounting the GHG emissions for the reduction because of your RE solution? Dominique?
Yes, hello, Mario.
Yes.
As mentioned earlier, we are using the scope 2 of the greenhouse gas emission standards. So this is computing the indirect GHG emissions from company owned equipment. So emissions from purchased electricity consumed by company equipment. So it's either location based or market based. So in this case, we do the location based.
Thank you, Dominique. And we have a follow-up question with you from Elaine Abunag. Can you provide services to the southern part of the Philippines since I think as presented, mostly the sites are located up north?
Yes, actually, the wholesale electricity spot market only operates in Luzon and Visayas. But when it comes to Mindanao, it is already in the works of connecting it to the grid of Luzon and Visayas. So hopefully, in the near future, we can already provide our services.
Thank you, Dominique.
Thank you.
To David for AGC, Carla Arsenal asks, is there a notable project involving your BIPV as curtain walls that you can share with us? Maybe so the participants can also search them online. David?
Yes, you certainly can find examples of this. We have an AGC Active Glass website where they will show examples for both curtain walls and other types of horizontal applications. That will be the best to find, AGC Active Glass website. And a number of these installations can be found not only in Japan, but also in Europe and other places.
Hi, David. I have another question for you from Melvin Calderario. He noted that based on your presentation, we won't have to orient to the south when designing for your solutions. Will the resulting efficiency still be worth replacing the typical facade or roof system with PVs without consideration for the orientation? David?
Orientation will still have a play when you use it for vertical application. You can imagine that if it was used for horizontal, it's easy to calculate that regardless of east, west, south direction, you have solar radiation. But when you place it for a vertical application, it will need to take note the orientation more, not only south, but I guess you can also imagine how you may have more capture of the light in the morning when it's from the east, as well as also the west in the afternoon. But for specifics, it really go by project basis to design and plan out where to apply the BIPV to meet the client's objectives.
Thank you, David.
Thank you.
So we have here a question from Teresa to Italpinas, to Giuseppe. Have you integrated into your design solutions to address the current pandemic issue, to address indoor airborne transmissions? Giuseppe?
We haven't integrated the specific solutions for the COVID, but based on our observation, the natural ventilation is something that really helped because there is always a changing of the hair, recycling. I mean, a change of fresh hair. So that was what we have observed based on our observation. Thank you.
Thank you, Giuseppe. So let me just go through some of the questions. If you still have any questions, please send them in the questions panel so we can address them to our presenters. And as mentioned, we will be collecting all these questions and providing them to our participants so that they may connect with you even after the activity. Maybe for our last question, and this was a question asked yesterday in the previous episode. There was a question on what are the current government incentives in pursuing renewable energy here in the Philippines. So maybe our representatives that have local projects here, have you tried pursuing incentives with government in terms of using renewable energy, and have you received these incentives from the government? Maybe I'll start with Meran.
Yes. Actually, part of the Renewable Energy Act of 9513, there's no import tax for for the materials to be used, since most of our materials, such as major components such as panels, inverters, and mounting systems, are imported. There's no import tax, which results in cheaper pricing for us, since we don't charge the tax anymore to our clients. And as far as I know, also in Cebu, from what I attended event in Cebu regarding it was PhilGBC, yeah, PhilGBC event. The mayor there in Cebu is giving tax, I think, believe in giving tax incentives for companies that are into the renewable energy or going green or doing the better certificate. So I hope the local LGUs here in Metro Manila or around the Philippines would also be accommodating that kind of incentive for the companies in their respective cities. Yeah. Thank you, Mario.
Thank you, Meran. Maybe I can pass the same question to you, Giuseppe. Have you pursued any incentives with the government in terms of the implementation of renewable energy in your projects?
Um, I think the question was already answered by Meran. Yes, there is this savings on the import tax when you buy these green equipment. But other than that, we don't have experience other savings related from the government related to that, at least in the area where we're developing now.
Thank you, Giuseppe.
Thank you.
Let me pass the question to Dominique. In terms of supplying off-site renewable energy, are there any incentives that you or your clients can pursue with the government, or you are pursuing as you supply renewable energy to your clients? Dominique?
Hello, yes. When it comes to SNABOITs, so there are fiscal benefits when it comes to pursuing RE. So for our group, we have the income tax holiday and the corporate tax rate. So currently, those are the incentives. When it comes to the zero rated VAT, currently we are working on these application for us to be able to enjoy the zero rated. So it is still on the work. So hopefully we can extend this to our customers once we have the permit.
Thank you, Dominique.
Thank you.
And thank you to our participants for your questions and for actively participating in our discussions. As mentioned, you can still send in your questions. We will be collecting all of these questions and sharing them to our presenters so that they may connect with you directly for your questions on their services or their products, and for any technical discussions that you may want with them. Um, So thank you once again to our four presenters, David from AGC, Dominique from SN Aboitiz, Giuseppe from Italpinas, and Meran from SN from Solar Energy, for presenting on your products and your services on renewable energy and for the promotion of renewable energy for projects. So for our succeeding episodes for this week, tomorrow we will be having episode 12, The World, where we will be featuring global and regional programs on green building and net zero from our colleagues from the World Green Building Council and our fellow national GBCs in the region. On Friday, we will have episode 13, The Verde Projects, which will feature presentations from green building project proponents undergoing Verde certification at different stages. So to register for these episodes, please scan the QR code on your screen or follow us at PhilGBC, for our social media accounts. For questions, you may contact the PhilGBC National Secretariat at events@philgbc.org. So thank you once again for participating in this episode. We will see you back online in the upcoming episodes for the BG 2020 Digital Conference. Happy World Green Building Week, everyone, and thank you.